Hi folks, this is your MWIS Winter Planner updated on Friday the 3rd of March. An interesting week or 10 days ahead as some very cold air moves in across the country. A reminder that winter is far from over, especially across the mountains, but we're likely to see some frozen terrain and snowfalls even to lower elevations through the upcoming week or so, and many indications keep these chillier patterns around even onwards through the middle of the month. This chart shows you the general pressure patterns for the week ahead, and we have high pressure centered towards the northwest and low pressure indicated by the bluey-green colours around Scandinavia, and that's drawing in the very cold Arctic air mass as a northerly for the days forwards, and we have some complications surrounding areas of low pressure trying to spin into the mix from the Atlantic as well, and that might produce some snowfalls for some into the second half of the week, but much uncertainty in that one. These charts display the freezing level. That's the height that we'd expect to find 0 Celsius and where the terrain is essentially frozen. Now, first thing Saturday morning, where skies are clear, there'll be a frost even down into the valleys and the glens. But by the time we get to the middle of the day, you're looking at a general freezing level around 700 or 800 metres, maybe a touch lower in northern Scotland, indicating then that the mountain terrain is broadly frozen. We shall see another frost where skies are clear overnight into Sunday, and a similar sort of situation during the daytime where we're in that range of around 600 to 800 metres, maybe a touch higher around some western coasts. As we go onwards, though, into the start of the new week, that's where we will see some significantly colder air moving in from the north. And during Monday, that freezing level dropping markedly across the highlands, down pretty much to the lowest slopes indicated here, around 200 to 400 metres across the highlands. By the end of the day, terrain then really frozen pretty much down to the lowest slopes. And that lowering freezing level too, extending across northern England into Wales through Monday. And as we go then into the middle of the week, Tuesday, Wednesday, well, that freezing level is going to stay very low indeed. Overnight frosts into valleys and glens, some very low temperatures possibly, where we see clearer skies, and daytime freezing levels really barely getting above around 200 to at the highest around 400 metres or so. Some coastal fringes of Wales might just go a little bit higher, but across the highlands we're looking at a situation where pretty much all terrain will be frozen. Looking at the ongoing situation for lying snow, this chart then for the weekend, and doesn't really show a great deal on this model map, but there is some old and consolidated snow across the higher tops in the Highlands and a dusting over some of the higher slopes in England and Wales as well. Not too much in terms of depth, but enough to make things rather icy with that frozen terrain, so do be aware of that on the higher terrain through this weekend. It's really, though, as we go into early next week where snowfalls will develop, fresh lying snow appearing across the highlands, then even down into the Pennines and the Lake District through Monday. And although there will be some local variations in exactly who gets what, the idea that lying snow and fresh snowfall is going to be across many of our hill and mountain areas into the middle of the week. The northern parts of Scotland, with that northerly airflow, likely to see the greatest amounts, the northern Cairngorms and the northwest Highlands maybe seeing some significant snowfalls at times, but fresh lying snow pretty widely across many areas. Now, as we go into the second half of the week, very uncertain, but just as areas of low pressure then try and spin in from the Atlantic, the potential, at least, for some snowfall even much further south. Now, take this chart really with a pinch of salt at this stage, but it does indicate the potential for some snowfalls even a long way south across Britain later on in the week. The air is then cold enough for that to happen. A long way off before we can get the detail in the forecast of that one, so we shall watch that day by day. This is the synoptic chart situation then, and for Saturday we have high pressure that's still on the scene and one or two local snow showers or flurries and some variable cloud and sunshine, but for many a dry and fairly bright day. Wind speeds relatively light, but a chilly feel with those temperatures around freezing on the mountains. Sunday won't be too different in many ways, in the sense that it's variable cloud, some sun, one or two areas of snow flurries and showers, maybe just in northern Scotland, a risk of a weak front coming down, giving the risk of something more frequent in terms of snowfall over a few hours. Just check your local details for that one. Monday sees a much stronger northerly wind developing and significant, if not severe, wind chill factor across the mountains as temperatures really take a dive down below -5 across the higher mountains in Scotland and dropping away by a few degrees across England and Wales as well as time goes on. Showers spreading from the north then with some snow to lower elevations across the Highlands and a mix of rain and snow across higher ground in England and Wales, but that will start to become snow to lower elevations as that freezing level drops later on in the day. By Tuesday, we're all in that much colder air, and we will see any precipitation that falls will be of snow or hail to the lowest of elevations, that most frequent in northern Scotland, possibly over the North Pennines, and a few bands of showers over the Irish Sea running into North and West Wales as well. A bitter wind chill factor across the mountains, even from lower elevations upwards. The air temperature on the higher tops in Scotland could well be quite close to -10, and add on that strong to maybe near gale force northerly wind, and the chill factor could be down towards -25 on the higher Scottish mountains, so severe conditions expected. There will be uncertainty of the exact pressure pattern into the middle of the week, but safe to say it looks cold. There'll be some further showers of some snow and some hail in the forecast, and those air temperatures will stay very low with those severe wind chill factors as well. Now, by Thursday, there is much uncertainty on the progress and development of this area of low pressure. If it develops like this, there would be the potential for some snowfall on its northern edge, maybe quite extensively, but a long way off to get any detail out of that forecast. Basically, we're still in a generally very cold weather pattern by this time. So heading into mid-March, and it is going to be an uncertain story in terms of these little areas of low pressure. The chart here with the bluer colours indicates that lower than average pressure will be nearby. The presence of high pressure, though, still up toward the north around Greenland and Iceland, indicates that we have quite a blocked weather pattern. In other words, we're not seeing westerly winds coming back in. Instead, we're hanging on to these cooler sources of air coming around from the north or the east, and then a tangle of low pressures circulating within that. In general, that high pressure to the north may well hang on into the later stages of the month. It becomes uncertain exactly where the air then begins to circulate further south. It could be that less cold air begins to get dragged in from the southeast by this stage. Plenty of interest, though, in the weeks ahead. Do keep up to date with your local information every day on our website. That is your winter planner. Thanks for watching today. Bye for now.